There is a misconception that private equity is only in private prisons. And from what I have found, that is not true.
That is absolutely right. So, to start right, private prisons are actually not private equity at all. They are publicly traded companies for the most part, not all of them, but the two largest private prison corporations are publicly traded, and that's Core Civic and Geo Group. Importantly, they hold only about 8.5% of the U.S. correctional population. And what these private prisons do is they're basically owners and operators of prison facilities and jail facilities and immigration detention. They're a much bigger part, importantly, of immigration detention than they are of the correctional landscape. So ICE is very dependent on them. But all that to say, they are owners and operators of prison facilities, which means that the warden, all the way down to the line staff of correctional officers, works for the private corporation. Whereas in a public prison, all the warden down to those correctional officers are all essentially government employees. They are paid right by that state or that county. However, even in public facilities, so many of the individualized services are privatized. And many of those privatized services are owned by private equity. So telecom is a perfect example. Even though private prisons only hold about 8.5% of everybody who's incarcerated in a correctional system, 100% of everyone who is in a prison or jail, whether public or private, are exposed to a private corporation for telecom, and in 90% of the cases, one owned by private equity. The same can be said of correctional health care, of commissary services, of food services, of money transfers. Just about everything has been privatized in one form or fashion within the prison industry.